Moxley and the Death Riders, they have to look like this unstoppable monster for Ospreay to ultimately slay. I'm going with Moxley to get the win.
You guys have way too much faith in Tony Khan to think that Jon Moxley's losing at All In. That's why he's losing here. He's losing here because he ain't losing in Texas.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Takedown on SI YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino, SP3, Zack Heydorn with you guys here to break down AEW Double or Nothing this Sunday night, Glendale, Arizona. And what a card we have for you. We got the finals of the men's and women's Owen Hart Cups. We got the AEW Women's Championship that's on the line. We got a stretcher match. We got World Tag Team titles on the line, Continental title on the line, and Anarchy in the arena, baby. But it ain't main eventing because, God forbid, women actually be involved in a main event for a pay-per-view. But I digress. We are here to break down everything. SP3, how we doing?
I am doing well. I was very happy for Anarchy in the arena because it would be women in the main event. But, you know, that's kind of Tony Khan's way. I'm not too offended by it because it would have been the most backdoor way possible for women to be in the main event at the same time. So yeah, I rather them get it on their own merits instead of a match with 52 other people.
You're right. And look, I'm slightly facetious in this, but it was semi-annoying when I heard that because look, Hangman and Will Ospreay, they deserve to be the main event. They should be the main event. It's what makes the most sense, and I'm glad that that was the move that they made. I'm still salty that Tony and Mariah, Zach, didn't main event.
Exactly.
They should have main evented, which is just...
Exactly.
So now TK wants to make the right choice. Now he wants to get it right. But, you know, whatever.
That's where I'm at on this, too. It's like, I don't think Anarchy in the arena should be the main event. But that doesn't mean that Tony Khan didn't have other chances in the recent past to put the women in the main event. Most recently, for Mariah May against Toni Storm. So it's a false choice to just call it. You know, it should be this. It's just not. There's plenty of other opportunities for that to happen. So,
it's the right choice, but it could still be wrong. Damn it! And I'm just always going to be salty. You know, when these kinds of things are made, but still, big night on Sunday for both Willow and Marina Shafir getting involved in Anarchy in the arena. We got like 12 people in that match, and there's probably going to be even more that are going to be involved. So let's screw it. Just literally, it's going to be Anarchy. But let's start here with the Continental Championship on the line. It is Kazuchika Okada against Speedball Mike Bailey. SP3. This is going to be really, really good. I don't think anybody's doubting that. I don't think anybody's doubting the result either. Okada's going to retain on this one.
Yeah, all of these title defenses for Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada is just leading up to the inevitable of what we're going to get in July in Texas with Okada and Omega 5. Speedball Mike Bailey is kind of the first guy who's gotten an opportunity at both of these titles in recent memory, where he had a shot at the international title at last month's Dynasty, and now he gets a shot at the Continental Championship here. I think with the style of the matchup being a 20-minute time limit, I think Speedball is the right guy who's just consistently had good to great matches since he signed with AEW earlier this year. So this should be another really good matchup. Okada is Okada. He's hilarious. The promo he did on Dynamite made me laugh because he fooled everybody in thinking that he was going to say his famous catchphrase, and then he just said, "Trust me." That was great. And I think this match is going to it has the potential to be great. So yeah, I'm going with Okada.
Any chance for a time limit draw, Zach?
No. Well, is there a chance? Sure. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I mean, look, you're building towards a huge match that you like, the match that you arguably signed Okada for, like, to have this match, the match against Kenny Omega, like on U.S. soil at a big AEW show in a stadium, like, that's the priority. And so that means Okada's got to go over. It means he's got to go over clean. And, you know, Mike Bailey will have his time. But right now it's all about Okada versus Omega at All In. And I think this match is going to be really good, but I think the outcome is like nearly 100% certain that Okada wins this.
Yeah, look, it's going to be Okada. I don't know if it's going to be clean. I wouldn't be surprised if, Okada got his hands on the speedballs a little bit just to, to secure this one and not get in the Rainmaker. But I digress. Yeah, Okada is going to win for sure. We got FTR going up against Nigel and Daniel Garcia tag team match. I have loved the addition of Stokely Hathaway and the dynamic that he has with FTR. I thought this has been a nice change of direction for them. They are all business at this point, and they are taking down anybody who gets in their way. SP3 of solidifying their legacy as the greatest tag team of all time. Does Adam Copeland get involved before or after the match is over?
I think after. I think FTR will continue the assault, try to spike power drive Nigel McGuinness and end his career. And then we'll hear on this day, I see clearly. I did not know I would like this combination. I love Stokely Hathaway and I really like FTR as heels, but I didn't think they would mesh this well so quickly. It's very much like a new generation version of Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express, except Stokely Hathaway is a lot more charismatic and less of a racist. But anyway, Stokely Hathaway is just much more entertaining, especially in 2025. So I really like them together with FTR. I think Garcia and Nigel will have a strong showing here. I think Nigel's been great with every opportunity he's gotten in his post-retirement run in AEW. So this should be another good matchup, but definitely FTR gets the win.
Zach?
FTR gets the W. I wish I could come out on this being a little bit different, but it makes the most sense with Cope, certainly coming back here. Like, I think this is almost a pay-per-view match so that he can come back on a big stage. The match and the feud is FTR against him. And so, I just think you put FTR over and now you can go ahead and do that match. I, like you guys, have really enjoyed the FTR heel turn. I think it gave them like an added new fresh dimension that they just didn't have before. Them as heels adds to that. Stokely also adds to that successfully. And so it's been a good mix. It's been a good pairing. And I think, you want to feed that with good booking too. And I think good booking in this case is a win for FTR.
Let's make it 3 in a row. I'm going with FTR as well. We got the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. The Hurt Syndicate against the Sons of Texas. AEW Tag Team titles. The Ring of Honor champions. Those belts aren't on the line. Will a team walk away with 2 titles, though? SP3, are you pulling the upset, or does the Hurt business continue to hurt people? Are they just going to hurt people?
I did want to mention with the last graphic, it is hilarious that Stokely Hathaway is standing next to a cactus, and the cactus is taller than him. And the fact that then you go to the next graphic and MVP is just standing behind Hurt Syndicate. You're not slick. Like, why are you doing this to my boy Stokely like this? Stokely could have easily been the graphic. Weird. He could have easily been in the graphic behind FTR.
This was totally Stokely's idea. I guarantee this was Stokely's input.
Absolutely. Sure. It's definitely Stokely's idea. And the reason why I wanted to talk about all of that, because I have no interest in this matchup. Dustin Rhodes bored the hell out of me and was the worst part of Dynamite with that long-ass promo that was basically the same promo that he cut on MJF a couple of months ago. Hurt Syndicate wins and get them the hell up out of here. I hate Sons of Texas on Ring of Honor. I hate them on All Elite Wrestling. Thank you.
Man.
Short but sweet. Zach?
Well, what else can I possibly say? I can't argue with any of that. I mean, I can't argue with any of that. I think that this MJF Hurt Syndicate business, no pun intended, is like hanging on by a thread. Like, it's almost off the rails. Almost. It's not yet. It's almost. Like, I just don't know what they're going for. Like, you got an audience that wants to cheer them, but you got MVP acting like a total ASS to the audience last night. He's kind of yucking it up with MJF. I'm not sure what they want the crowd to feel at this point. And generally in for me, I like to know what they're going for, and I think the waters are getting like a little bit muddy here. So I think Hurt Syndicate wins this match, no question about it. The question is how if and when does MJF get involved, and then how does that project? How does that move the storyline between them forward? So this match, really more than any other match on this show, I think it's going to be just like, watching the clock, waiting for it to hit the 12-minute mark so that we can get MJF involved and see where this goes. Hurt Syndicate definitely wins. The question is how.
I honestly don't want MJF to get involved because Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley shouldn't need any help to beat 54-year-old Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. And I think that where this is going, I think that MJF and Hurt Syndicate has arguably been one of the better stories in AEW. I feel like the Go Home show was their worst segment that they ever been part of, but a lot of that's down in the Sons of Texas because I told you before, I don't have no interest in the Sons of Texas. Don't know why they're here and don't know why Tony Khan keeps giving these duds to the Hurt Syndicate. They had the Outrunners one month, they get the Learning Tree the next month. Now they got the Sons of Texas this month. We got FTR, we got Young Bucks, we got the Paragon, we got them right over here. Why are we getting all these bums against the Hurt Syndicate? Like, I understand you want to stretch this to go a little long, but this is ridiculous. As far as the MJF and Hurt Syndicate, came up with the best idea. It just makes sense. Cedric Alexander comes into AEW. Everybody in the Hurt Syndicate wants him in. Give him a thumbs up. MJF, thumbs down. So it's basically the inverse of what we've been getting.
When I thought Cedric was coming in on Wednesday. Like, I thought this was going to be like a swerve. MVP was like, let's introduce our new fourth member and never really say Max's name. And then Cedric would show up. So I was genuinely surprised. I'm like, oh, no, this is just literally a contract signing. And then, Dustin came out, and I have no problem with Dustin Rhodes. But, that promo was not it. It was way too long. And you're right. It was basically the same thing that he said to MJF a while ago. So I'm with you. They don't need MJF to get involved in this matchup to win. So I don't want to see MJF get involved. But they're going to see MJF.
Oh, but you will.
Yes.
But you
doesn't matter. It Hurt Syndicate wins all day, every day. They're hanging onto the tag titles for a while, a long, long while. We got a stretcher match. Mark Briscoe, Ricochet. Ricochet continues to be one of the best heels in all of professional wrestling. There's very little hyperbole in that statement right now. I don't even think you could argue it unless you're just a stone cold hater, to be completely honest with you. But this match is going to be fun. They keep Ricochet's momentum going here. I got him going over Mark Briscoe, SP3.
Yeah, this seems like a matchup designed to get Ricochet a win on pay-per-view because despite all of his success in AEW, he has never won on pay-per-view yet. He's been in multiple pay-per-view matches and great matches. In fact, last year, the three-way matchup with Takeshita and Will Ospreay, he versed Okada at World's End, he versed Takeshita at Full Gear, the great matchup with Swerve Strickland at Revolution, the stellar three-way with Kenny Omega in Speedball, and I just went through all of those matches to just remind myself he's never won any of them. So this is a match literally designed for him to win. So thankfully he can get the win, and it's not really hurting Mark Briscoe all that much because Mark Briscoe scored a victory on him before. Why is a stretcher match? I wish that AEW just would have outright said this is a Sabu tribute match, because that's the only reason we're doing this as a stretcher match, because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Zach, are we all on the same page again?
Ricochet all the way. I'm excited to see if and what Mark Briscoe does. That's crazy with the stretcher, like from a spot standpoint. I mean, Mark Briscoe on pay-per-view is usually an exciting thing. So
he's going to run and jump off of something and scream really high, like a high pitch.
No.
That's my guarantee for this match.
Don't be ridiculous. That never happened. No, and to SP3's point, like, it's a match that, if you were hell bent on making sure the show was a clean 3 hours, you probably wouldn't have this on there. But because it is going to be 5 or 4.5 or whatever, you got to give Ricochet some wins. You're going to want Ricochet to be a guy that could challenge a babyface Will Ospreay, maybe for the world title at some point when Ospreay is champion. Kenny Omega could be, a strong international champion. You haven't done that singles match yet. Like, you want him to be a guy that you could flex into big title matches. And in order to do that believably, he's got to get some wins. And so this is a perfect moment, and a W it is.
So once again, 4 matches in, halfway through the card that we know of it as of right now. So full disclosure, we're recording this on a Thursday afternoon before Collision has aired. And Tony Khan always likes to throw in a couple of last minutes at the last minute. So, these are the risks you take with a recorded show, but we got 8 that we're talking about right now that are official. We're all on the same page. Maybe that will change with this one. It is Anarchy in the arena. And it is loaded. We have Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, and the Opps, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Katsuyori Shibata against the Death Riders, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta might get involved as well. The Young Bucks are there. They're all there. Everybody except Hook, I think, is advertised or expected to be involved in this match. And Hook will probably still show up on Sunday and make his return, because F it, nothing matters. It's literally Anarchy. SP3, besides absolute total balls to the walls chaos, how do you expect this one to shake out on Sunday night?
I do think it's hilarious that Gabe Kidd is not advertised for this matchup, despite being the mercenary who helped Moxley pick up the victory, was involved in the big angle that set this match up 2 weeks ago at Beach Break, and then he did media speaking to Sean Rossap for Fightful, and then he's not advertised for the matchup. But the way they did the closing angle on Dynamite, it is setting up that he is going to be involved in this matchup in some way, and I think that's cool, because it leaves the door open for so many different options for them to do. Like you said, Hook could be helping the baby faces, but there's also a plethora of other different options. Like Darby Allin makes it down that mountain in the 3 to 7 days that it's supposed to take, and he's able to make it to Double or Nothing and get involved in this. There's someone like an out there kind of Bryan Danielson, who started all of this Death Rider stuff. He can make his return. Personally, my favorite choice to help the baby faces is, God willing, he's healthy, Eddie Kingston, who is the arch nemesis of Gabe Kidd, and Gabe Kidd is the man that took him out over a year ago at Resurgence for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Please, dear God, let it be, because the best Anarchy in the arena was the first Anarchy in the arena, because we got one of the greatest moments in AEW history is nearly dead zombie Eddie Kingston coming out covered in blood and trying to set people on fire. Please let him come out with a flamethrower and a gasoline tank, and he's trying to set Gabe Kidd on fire to get his revenge. Give me Eddie Kingston. But I think that the baby faces are going to get the win, with Willow Nightingale pinning Wheeler
Yuta. Okay.
I like that. Oh, yes. Give me that, please.
Oh, man. Now I got to rethink. No, I love that. And I'm with you on Eddie Kingston. I think this is the perfect moment to have him either actually get announced for the match, or just be involved just as a run-in or somebody like that. You got a big pop waiting for you if that happens, and that writes itself, given the fact that it's Gabe Kidd, given the fact that it's Moxley on the other side. He's been a rival to both those guys. This makes sense. I'm going to say that the heels win this, though. I think bad guys win. And the reason that I say that is just, I don't know. Nobody on the men's side has anything lined up with that group really outside of Swerve coming out of this for All In. But Moxley and the Death Riders being strong for Will Ospreay or Adam Page to go up against, I think is this is the final time you can put the Death Riders over as a really, really big threat to the company, threat to the championship, threat to, AEW's existence in general. And I think you want Will Ospreay to be going up against as credible and as strong of a heel Moxley faction as you can. And I think to do that, you just, as annoying as it's going to be for so many fans, I think you give Moxley another W, and just know in the back of your mind that he's got his comeuppance coming soon. But I think you nudge it along one more time, one more pay-per-view, one more show, and then you can put him over. But you want Moxley strong, and I think he gets the win here.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Anarchy in the Arena is not main eventing, is because Jon Moxley is going over again, and they're not going to end the show that way. I'm with you, Zach. Like, this is like the way I envision Will Ospreay, and this might be, foreshadowing my pick for the Owen Hart men's final here, but the way I envision Ospreay going into this match is kind of like Cap at the end of Endgame, right? Where like he's staring down Thanos and the entire army before, hey, Cap, on your left, and everybody comes back after the snap. Except it's just going to be freaking Will Ospreay going up against the army, and somehow he finds a way to, defeat him all on his own. Like, that's how I foresee this going down. Moxley and the Death Riders, they have to look like this unstoppable monster for Ospreay to ultimately slay. I'm going with Moxley to get the win.
You guys have way too much faith in Tony Khan to think that Jon Moxley's losing at All In. That's why he's losing here. He's losing here because he ain't losing in Texas. He wants Darby Allin to win the title. Like, I don't know why people keep fighting against it. This is what he does. He don't pivot.
SP3. You're not going to get invited back to these, man.
Oh, man, just jinxing the whole damn thing. We got the AEW Women's Championship on the line. It is Timeless Toni Storm. It is Mina Shirakawa, who is getting a women's world title match. 3 matches into her full-time AEW career. I love Mina. I'm kind of surprised she's getting the shot this early because I don't think there's a chance in hell, SP3, that she is winning this matchup. I got Timeless Toni moving on to All In Texas.
The best character, the best women's wrestler in the world today, Timeless Toni Storm, because Mina can't put on her deadly, glamorous figure 4 because she, in fact, quoted herself in saying, "You need a crowbar to get in between these thighs." Pun intended. Timeless Toni Storm retains.
Zach?
Timeless Toni. My thought was similar to yours, Rick, of just like, it's quick to like get Mina into this match, but if they want it to be pay-per-view worthy, and she definitely brings that to this in terms of being like a worthy title challenger. But yeah, there's just no way that she wins this, and there's no way she should win. I mean, Toni's on a run, just such an incredible run as a champion, as a character. Like SP3 said, it's like, it's not the time. It's not the time. It's even if you didn't have All In and a potential showdown with Mercedes Moné coming, it's still not the time. So this is Toni Storm all the way.
Yeah, look, it just seems weird to like bring Mina in and give her this world title match that she's more than likely not going to win, especially when she's already had 2 world title matches as a member of the Stardom roster, and she lost those. One of them was already to Toni Storm. So rinse and repeat, but I'm glad Mina's here. She's getting a pay-per-view match. I'm never going to be mad with seeing Mina Shirakawa on my TV screen, so this should be fun regardless. Let's get to our last 2 matchups here quickly. Final of the Owen Hart Cup. It is Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion. She is still undefeated in singles action. She's going up against Jamie Hayter. SP3, does she stay undefeated Sunday night and move on to All In Texas?
I really would love to say Jamie Hayter's going to get a win, because Jamie Hayter had a great promo on Dynamite where she was spinning a lot of facts, because she's like, this means more to her than it does to Mercedes, because she asked the question, what are we doing with Jamie Hayter if she don't win this cup? Like, and she has a built-in story of the person that injured her 2 years ago at this same event, Double or Nothing, was Toni Storm, who took the AEW Women's World Championship from her. And then she came back after a year. She climbs the mountain, gets back to the mountaintop, gets the opportunity against Timeless Toni Storm for the same title that she really should have never lost. And it's Toni Storm, the most popular woman in the company. Now all the fans love her, despite what she did to Jamie, took away the glory, made her fall down the mountain. She comes back from injury. She's wearing clothes from a different era, and she's getting questioned about it, while Timeless Toni Storm is acting like she's in a different era, and she gets beloved for it. Like there's a story there where you could turn Jamie Hayter heel. She goes after Toni, and you can have another great matchup for Mercedes Moné, whether that's against Mina Shirakawa or Athena at All in Texas, and we can have 2 big women's matches at the show. But unfortunately, the whole story of the build has been Jamie Hayter been unable to hit the Haterade, and then she hit the Haterade on Dynamite. So I think that Mercedes is going to win.
Zach, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Mercedes is going to win this too. I mean, if this was another match, or if it was just for the TBS title, I think that you can maybe, go a different direction. But this is for an opportunity to be in a world title match on the biggest show of the year, stadium show in the United States. Like, Toni Storm against Mercedes Moné is the biggest match you can do, that in the women's division. So when you have that type of opportunity, you do it and you get it done. And so I think, you have the opportunity to get there with this. And so go all the way. I don't think you need to be cute here. Mercedes wins, and you move on and you do the big match at All In.
I called my shot when the tournament started. I got to stick with my choice. I'm going with Jamie Hayter to pull the upset for all of the reasons that SP3 laid out. The storyline is there, and I am going to hope and pray that Tony Khan sees the storyline there and moves in that direction, because I still firmly believe the best match you can put on, women's match anyway, and not to say that Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm won't be a great women's match, but I think the best and biggest women's match you can put on in Texas is Moné Athena 2 for the TBS championship. That's the direction I'm going with. I'm sticking with my pick. Jamie Hayter gets the big win, pulls off what most people consider an upset, and kind of gets like, I know she's already a former women's champion, but this is like a make somebody kind of moment where you can be the first one to defeat Mercedes Moné since Willow Nightingale in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And the only reason Willow won that match is because she broke her freaking ankle. Like, she hasn't supposed to have lost a match since she was in WWE. This is a big moment for Jamie. I think she gets it on Sunday. I am willing it to happen. I'm willing it to happen, damn it. Willing it.
That'd be a really interesting twist. Like, I wouldn't be against that. I think that'd be a really interesting twist. I don't know, man. Like, do we think that Tony Khan feels the same way about Athena that we do? It's like, she had a great match, but then like she's been off. She's not even in AEW. Like, she's not participating on AEW. So I just question whether Tony Khan sees her the same way that we do.
I mean, I got a lot of questions about Athena's usage.
All right, I won't open that door. Shut that box.
Okay. Can anybody remember her last big major AEW feud? Like, AEW feud.
It was the first one she was ever in, was Jade Cargo.
Exactly. Somebody who's not even in the company anymore and hasn't been for over a year. I have a lot of questions with Athena's usage, and hopefully it's all leading to this big moment in Texas. And last but not least, our main event, Will Ospreay, Hangman Adam Page. I got a feeling where we're all going on this one. SP3, how you feeling?
This is the 2 biggest baby faces in the company, and I thought their promo exchange on the Go Home show was fantastic. Both men giving you their character motivations, making this sound like the biggest matchup in AEW this year, the most important, because the winner is going to get the opportunity to bring the title back to AEW. One man says he wants it, one man says he needs it. It's about the redemption of Hangman Adam Page versus the ascension of Will Ospreay. I think they articulated this whole story going into the matchup so well on Dynamite this weekend, and it's this week, and it really drove home of how great this match is going to be, because not only is these 2 great in-ring performers, they have a story that backs it up and that can make it one of the best matches of the entire year. All of that to say, I love Hangman Adam Page. I believe in Hangman Adam Page, but his whole story is about him losing and him taking it so personal. So let's have Will Ospreay get this win. Let's have Will Ospreay face Jon Moxley. If this was Swerve Strickland had won at Dynasty, then yeah, I'm going with Hangman here. But now that Swerve is not the champion and it's probably going to be Jon Moxley on July 12th, it needs to be Will Ospreay.
Going to be Will Ospreay. I agree on that. But more so what I agree on is just the framing of how good this was. This like that promo on Dynamite this week was one of, if not the best promo segment that AEW has put on. I mean, you had two guys clicking. They know who their characters are. They can articulate that. And because they're so good at that and comfortable and understand what the characters are, it elevated everything. It elevated the world title. It elevated the Owen Hart Cup final tournament and what that means. It elevated what it means to be in the main event of All In. All of that got raised up in terms of how both those guys talked about it. And I like that they're not relying on like babyface versus babyface tropes here of like, oh, we're baby faces, but we don't get along. And like, this is just like, I'm a good guy and I need to win for this reason. And I'm a good guy and I need to win for this reason. And they're two totally different scopes on a baby face trying to win the big one. Different perspectives, same goal. And I think that's just really interesting. And I think both Hangman and Ospreay captured that really well. And, you know, in the past, we've seen these tournament finals in AEW just kind of be there. They're there and they were almost treated as, oh, they just sell themselves. They're a tournament final. Like they sell themselves. This was a clear effort, both men and women, to put added narrative behind these finals. And I think what you have here, especially on the men's side, is just a compelling match where people are really going to care about the outcome. It won't just be, oh, we just want to see a good match. The outcome means something. It matters. And that is the shining part of this particular feud. Match is going to be great. Match would be great if you trotted that out with no build, but adding the build to it enhances it so much. And I really think it's one of the best pieces of work that AEW has put on in the last 18 months.
I'll raise you on that one. I think the Wednesday's promo exchange between these two was the best that I've seen in pro wrestling this year. Period. End of story. Not just All Elite Wrestling. It was absolutely spectacular. Like every promotion on the planet should be taking notes based off of that promo exchange and what those two brought to the table. To me, I think Will Ospreay wins this. I would love to have some faith in Hangman Adam Page because I really bought into what he was saying. Like he suckered me in and he made me feel for the guy. Like, cause you know, as a husband and a father, like I think we've all had times in our lives where we're going, damn, man, we are failing at some point, right? Like we never feel like we measure up. And I'm like, God damn, you are just pulling at the freaking heartstrings here, man. And
He moved me with that. I mean, Christmas morning, my son's playing on his floor, playing with his toys. He's looking up at his dad and he's looking out the window for someone who's never gonna come back there. I was like, damn.
It hits you. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I want to see him win this. I don't think he is. And I think he's going to start going back into that dark place afterwards. And then there's going to be an unlikely ally that comes back and pulls him from the brink. And I think that those two men are going to ultimately end up winning the tag team championships together. It's going to be Hangman Adam Page and it's going to be Swerve Strickland. And it's going to be this alliance that they've just formed out of this bile and hatred that they have for one another. And all of a sudden it's like, all right, we recognize now our fight's over. We did some heinous shit to each other. Let's come back. Let's come back together and be better men than who we were. And I think that's the story that's going to unfold after Double or Nothing. But yes, give me Will Ospreay. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Hope you enjoy the show this weekend. Of course, we did do Saturday night's main event predictions as well, myself and Zach. That video is up here on the channel as well. Takedown discussions. If you missed the news this week, bombshell drop, WrestleMania no longer in New Orleans next year, possibly going right back to Las Vegas. So there's a lot that we're going to dive into. Their takedown discussions was available earlier this morning. Our John Alba talked to Willow Nightingale. We also have interviews up from the past week that SP3 did with the winners of WWE LFG and Tyra May and Jasper. We got Sonya Deville on the channel. We got Carmella on the channel. Samoa Joe, Zach. There's a lot that we have put up this month on the channel. Check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss anything. Give us a thumbs up on this video. It helps drive up our audience more than you could possibly know. And we appreciate you guys. We'll be back with more. This train ain't stopping.